Good day. So, our discussion today on this system is going to be on the creature. And if you haven't read The Creature from Jekyll Island, read that. But what we're just discussing today is pertaining to that. And we're going to talk about the defense and the offense that we're going to use to overcome the creature. So, starting at the top, Hosea 4:6 states, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, and thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children." So, understanding right at the beginning, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's key. So we already understand what we need to do. And then the second thing, 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Once again, going back to the beginning, study to show thyself approved unto God. So the first thing we need to do, if we know we're lacking knowledge, we know the second thing is we need to study and show ourselves approved to God, not to man, and understand that a workman is worthy of his hire. That goes back into the second part of the system, that we're only discussing the creature today, but this is what you're supposed to do. Understand what the issue is, and then understand what the solution is. Now to drill down into the defense to overcome the creature from Jekyll Island that was created. The first thing we need to do on our defensive end is what's called better banking. And to overcome the creature is really broken down into three stages: better banking, better borrowing, and better investing. And we're going to break down first better banking, what that looks like, better borrowing, what that looks like, better investing, what that looks like. And this is the 10,000 foot view. Like, we're not going to drill down. That's what the program is for, and the subsequent videos from this are for. But this is to give you that 10,000 foot view on how to overcome the creature and what all this stuff is actually doing and why you're doing it. So, starting with the better banking, most people banking just lives down here in this section. And that is in the world of fiat or paper money, whether it's secured paper or unsecured paper, or, all the other denominations of that. They're dealing with fiat paper money, which isn't backed by anything. It's just an IOU. And we've dealt with that in another video as well. But you understand that paper money is an IOU, and those are normally in a centralized institution or a centralized institution's vault. And you got your bank accounts, you have your debit and credit cards, your brokerage accounts. So think of your Charles Schwab accounts, Interactive Brokers, your Robin Hoods. Those are your brokerage accounts, and all other similar accounts that are attached to your paper money, your unsecured paper, which is what that's called. Secured paper would be if your money was backed by some type of real estate or something physical that you can actually get a hold of, right? So it would be the equivalent of what our money was before 1971, where you can take your dollars and turn them in for the equivalent in gold. That would be secured paper. Next, we have the bridge exchange. In a bridge exchange, because these normal exchanges don't allow you to invest in the crypto world, or without having a certain amount of capital, you can't invest in the futures, which regulates you to really investing 5 days a week, 9:30 to 4. And if you don't meet those windows, you really can't do some of the things that you need to protect your money and to help grow your money. So you get in a bridge exchange. Here we have Kraken Pro, because it allows you to not only invest in the crypto the way we just said, allowing you to get some of the returns for the stable coins that you can use there. You can also invest in the futures market and also invest in stocks through fractional shares. So you don't even have to buy the whole shares, and you can do that all from your Kraken Pro, which is different from the regular Kraken account, which you can set up for free. Kraken Pro, there's a monthly subscription, but I think it's small, maybe $20 a month. And once again, when you step into this part of your banking, now you're using stable coins, utility or blue chip coins, and others. Those are the things that you're working with here. So you have your in the decentralized exchange, which is completely opposite of your centralized exchange right here. So in a centralized exchange, thanks, there's one centralized institution that's over everything. Federal Reserve and our banking system here. Decentralized, there isn't. Is everywhere. So what we use here is Phantom with our link card, and that's one of the reasons we use Phantom, because it gives us a link debit card that we can use so we can move our crypto to our stablecoin cryptos to cash, use it, or turn cash into stablecoins really quick. So we're going to use that, and we also use Uniswap, which allows us to do a lot of different things as far as being a pure decentralized platform, even swapping, as the name implies. Then we can move one step lower from a decentralized exchange, and you have what's called a hot wallet. In a hot wallet, well, first, the one we use is the Ledger wallet plus the link card. So Ledger has a cold wallet, which is self-storage, offline. No one has access to it. So when you think about your stocks inside of a brokerage, you don't actually own those stocks. You just have a right to them. Those stocks are inside of the brokerage account. So if that brokerage, God forbid, was to go broke, you would not be able to get your stocks out of that because you don't own them. And a lot of people don't know that. But once again, they're in custody of them for you. So you have a right to them. So now if there is some money left and the business can pay off, you would obviously get what you're supposed to get. But once again, that is not in your control. So, and that's the same thing with a bank. All your money that's in a bank, God forbid, if your bank was to ever go into default, you could not get your money out of the bank because once you gave it to them, that's technically not yours. You can't go in there and just get it like that. Once again, a lot of people don't know that. So what we're doing is trying to put you in control. And with a decentralized account, that you obviously are in control, but your money is still on a platform somewhere. So it's still on a Phantom platform. It's still on a Uniswap platform. You do own it. So it's like a gateway because your money is on the blockchain, and then it's also sitting on the exchange. So you took in your money, put it on the exchange, and you can see it on the blockchain, but it's not in your custody. Hot wallet, the money is in your custody and it's on the blockchain, but it's not super secure, meaning it's not off. Like something can get hacked. If something did, your money can be lost or stolen. Super protective is the cold wallet, Ledger wallet, and this is something that is totally offline that you actually have to cut on and sign into, which is the best protection for your stable coins, for your utility and blue chips. And that's Ledger wallet, which is what I use. So that's the digital money. So moving from fiat paper money, we just talked about all of the digital money. Now we're talking about real money, which is gold, silver, gold bags, other precious metals. This is real money. When you get here, you're down to your precious metals vault. You can either do self-storage, which is you actually physically take your dollars and buy gold, or take your crypto and buy gold, and then obviously take that, home with you or put it in your vault. That's self-custody or self-storage. Then you got custodial, which is where someone else, will hold it for you. They may have a vault and then you still have access to it. And the difference between that and the stocks that we were explaining earlier is with the custodial, you have a right to that. So if something was to happen, you can actually go and get that stuff because it still belongs to you. So that's the slight difference. I also use United Precious Metals Association account plus their link card, because what they do through this association is it allows you to buy gold at spot price, buy silver at spot price, and then also sell it at spot price. So if you've been storing up a lot of gold or storing up a lot of silver, if you've ever tried to sell it, you know that there's always a fee. And that fee can eat into the amount of money. So by joining this association, not only do you get those fees waived, but they'll also hold or store your gold for you or your silver for you. And like I said, it's private, so it's still yours. All right. So once again, this is how your money comes into you. It probably comes in through fiat or paper money. Your job is to move it up to where you're gaining more control and a better return for your money. Because as you know, leaving your money in paper money is obviously, even if you're leaving it in the bank in the savings account, is you're losing 2 to 3% every year to inflation. So what the bank is giving you in interest isn't even, it's not even close to that. So you're losing money every single year. So that's the first thing to defeat the creature. That's the defense, and that's at least stopping the bleeding, so to speak. So that's the defense.